Yo, what is up guys and welcome to InfernoKun back with The Walking Dead, the final season here, with everyone's favorite video, the death predictions for episode 4. Take us back. We have a lovely discussion today, and for that, I decided to go ahead and add some more guests. Let's go ahead and start with the introduction of SIF. You guys know him. You can call him the British InfernoKun.
Hello everyone, welcome. I am the British InfernoKun, aka SIF. Welcome back. This is nice. I'm back on the channel, back to talk about more depressing stuff. And thank you for joining. And this should be a very saucy video.
Yes, it should be indeed, but also a second one, because why not? I wanted to go ahead and be special with it. We have a guy who we haven't really done a collab. We have done a podcast, but that doesn't count, I guess. But hey, Percy, how you doing? What's going on?
Hi, this is cool because I'm excited, and yeah, I'm really excited for episode 4 of Take Us Back because that's gonna be sad.
I don't think you are. I don't think you're hype. You're never hype, like I am. Okay,
I'm always
but
hyped.
other than that, okay. So the way we're gonna be doing this is our collab. We have my opinions in this video. Their opinions will be on their channel to kind of go ahead and make it a bit spicy and make sure everyone gets that juicy bit of content that doesn't get demonetized, I hope. But anyways, let's go ahead and start with my predictions. I have some good ones, I think, for the most part. It's kind of hard to go ahead and say who's gonna die because, man, there's like so many people still alive at this point, and I just don't know who's gonna live or who's gonna die, or even if they want to go ahead and have people live like a lot of people live in this season. So let's start off very, very small with Tennessee, okay? And I think that Tennessee may be dead in this episode. Now, I was kind of fighting on the line of him being determinate or not, various things like that, because there are some choices that really do affect 10 in the whole season. Not a lot of choices, but I think that there's not enough that could actually bring him to be a determinate character. You know, there aren't really a bunch of choices that go ahead and affect 10 as a character, so I think that he just may end up dying. Kind of like at the end of episode 3, we had Lily go ahead and point that gun over at 10's head, almost shot him, but didn't get a chance to. And I think that, you know, this could actually be a really, really cool point to incorporate Minerva, okay? Minerva's actions in episode 3, we had her pretty much just trying to just know what's going to happen to 10. Is he okay? Various things like that. Her actions were kind of made to make sure he's safe in a way, you know? Not really, because she ended up like just being like, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna go ahead and knock Clem out, not caring about where 10's at the moment. But I think that if Minerva knew that this was because of her, or like 10 actually dying was kind of because of her actions, that would actually affect Minerva. That's where it's kind of hard, because I'm kind of thinking like, man, what if I want Minerva to die instead? We'll get to that. What do you guys think about Minerva, Percy? Oh, not Minerva, 10.
Well, to be fair, I have noticed that in episode 1, definitely in episode 1, that there were choices that centered around 10, and a part of me is like worried that they're not really gonna like matter in episode 4 for some reason, because maybe the drawing one would matter, but I don't know, it's just hard to tell at this point. But I could definitely see him being dead because of Minerva, or something to do with Minerva. Yeah, so I do definitely see him dying.
Yeah, I was just thinking that, you know, like, what if like what if like Minerva ends up like getting, you know, 10, like he's like dying and he's like, Minerva, wait, what did he say? He said something about like, oh no, Minerva, I forgive you. Like he forgives Marlon for giving him up, and then he forgives her again. That'd be funny. What do you think about what I said earlier, Safsuf?
To be honest, I agree. I could see some, I mean, the role of Tennessee has kind of increased as the episodes went along, you know, from episode 1 with the drawing to episode 3, where he talks about the Walker Age and the futuristic plans for the, you know, for the zombie apocalypse. Verbally, he's had like a bigger role. I don't know what he could actually do in the story in episode 4 particularly, because, you know, just of his character and like the character that he is, you don't want him to be out of character of the things he could do. You know, like at the end where he had the gun, that was very out of character for him, and then he went back into character where he kind of like broke down in front of Lily. So in episode 4, what could get him killed, I don't know. So that's why I'm not sure if he could die, but I definitely do agree with the whole Tennessee and Minerva kind of link. I think that would be kind of smart considering their close bond relationship.
Yeah, and definitely on the flip side, this is my other one that I was kind of thinking about what could happen to Minerva, because they can go either way, I believe. It works for both characters. Both Tin and Minerva are very, very close. Therefore, I can see actually Minerva dying as well. Or maybe even just having her be determinate based upon your choices with Tin. That could affect how he views things, and he might not be very happy with Minerva. Therefore, she could end up dying, being determinate death. I think that Minerva, she could end up being determinate because, she's kind of new character. She just got introduced in episode 3, and in a way, I think that her just flat out dying would be a bit, kind of like, but then we have determinate, which kind of would be based upon your choices you made with 10 that could affect Minerva. So what do you think about Minerva being determinate, Sasuf?
I could definitely see her being determinate, just because I think that Minerva and Clementine really have an opposing personality. Compared to each other, they're very different. From the very first moment we meet Minerva, she's got a very hostile tone to her voice, etc. So I could see the role of Minerva actually being so much bigger than we already think it is. And determinant, I could see her being determinant just for the fact that we might have the option to kill her. I don't know what could lead up to us killing her, but Minerva I think, is going to have a very big important role in episode 4. Either she's going to have a very big important role or she won't. So if I'm wrong, I'm going to sound stupid, but Minerva, I think she has a huge potential to have a big role in episode 4. And be at the end of episode 4, if she is determined, I won't be surprised at all.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that Minerva actually has a big role, because, I think either way she will, but maybe it could be like, hey, if Lily is dead, then Minerva has a bigger role, but then if she's alive, then Minerva's kind of like, a little bit still big, but not as big as, if Lily were to be dead. But Percy, what do you think about Minerva, determinate status?
I'm actually surprised that you guys mentioned 10 a lot, because if you don't remember what happened at the end of episode 3, Violet stays behind with Minerva, so I'm wondering if they're gonna be with each other maybe near the beginning of episode 4, and I would be really interested to see, I don't know, something maybe that involves Violet and Minerva, and definitely 10 as well, because I know he's important to Minerva also, but I wonder what Violet could do with Minerva in the beginning of episode 4, so it's kind of like hard to tell, like, is that going to make Violet determinate or something? Like, I don't know, it's kind of weird at the moment.
Yeah, glad you brought that up, because there are some choices that really affect Minerva. Not really directly, but indirectly. We have her getting shot in the shoulder with an arrow. That could definitely play a factor, and various things like that. Or maybe even her getting punched in the face by Clementine, because you can go ahead and have that either if you chose to save Lois or Violet in episode 2. So that could play a factor in what happens to Minerva. So that's definitely really interesting as well. Let's go ahead and get on to my number 3. It's a small one, not as big, but I think that this is what I want pretty much, is Lily, okay? She can die in episode 3, of course, if you go ahead and shoot her in the face. But for those of you who don't want AJ to be an evil, murdering guy, okay, you might have spared Lily, and you might have regretted it a little bit because she's still alive and she does some bad things. Like me, okay? So, I think that Lily will not survive the season. And I know that Kent Muddle, the director, said that, hey, if you make somebody live, they're gonna live the whole season. And I think that, Lily should be that one exception that if you want her to die, she should definitely die. So I think that either way, we will have a second chance to go ahead and kill Lily. What do you guys think about that, Percy?
It's hard to tell, because really with episode 3, it showed that Lily had like no redemption in a way, and I want, if they were to do a redemption for her in like episode 4, how would they do it? How can she make up for all this? Or what will make her change her mind? Like, that's the thing that's like kind of like, I don't know how it's gonna play out, and it's hard to tell if can she really live? That's the thing.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, I don't care about her fucking redemption. I just want her to die. To be honest, I spared her, so I just want her to die at this point. Okay, she's not okay at all. So what do you think about her being permanently dead if you chose to spare her, Sasuf?
Yeah, I could definitely see that happen. And probably that is what is going to happen. I mean, I killed her in episode 3. So in episode 4, obviously she's not going to have any sort of role in my playthrough. However, of course, Ken Mundle actually talked about how he wants to have determinate characters have a much bigger role in this season anyway. So, I could definitely see her having a big role, and I do ultimately see her dying eventually. Whether that's like dying without the player choice, or actually the players actually having another choice to actually kill her. Both work well in my opinion. Whether she actually dies regardless, or the player can actually decide to kill her again. Obviously, they both will work. But yeah, I do definitely see her being permanently dead, just because I think, after a while, she doesn't really have a purpose to serve in the story. And I generally do see like a bigger threat, like Minerva having a bigger role in the story rather than Lily. I think Lily's kind of more just like an episode 2, episode 3 kind of thing. But now that we've rescued the children, we have a much bigger problem, whether that's Minerva or someone else. I guess the story just got to progress. So I think Lily permanently dying is very, easily thought about, in my opinion. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely feel bad if what if Clementine died and then Lily's still alive? I would kind of feel very bad about that, to be honest. But these last 4 I can luckily condense down into 2 because they are very synonymous with each other. And that being, let's start off light. Light? No, that's not light. Let's start off pretty heavily light. Let's go ahead and go to Lois and Violet. Now, in episode 2, you have a chance to go ahead and save either one, and that goes kinda not very well, but of course they both end up surviving, and they're both kinda okay. At least not Lois. Unfortunate soul, he is, okay? Gets his tongue cut out and can no longer talk very efficiently, so he doesn't end up dying, which is kinda okay, at least he's not dead for the most part, but, I'm kind of wondering, will they end up killing, either one? Because I'm thinking what's the point of maiming Lewis if you just end up dying either way? Because I think it just might be that initial hit factor, oh man, I didn't save Lewis, therefore his tongue is gone. But then if he ends up dying, if you did not save him, then it'll be okay, he died either way. So I'm kind of on the fence about what I want to title this one, but I think I just might go for the one that you did not save at the end of episode 2 will end up being dead. So for example, I save Violet, therefore Lewis will be dead, and vice versa. Okay, so I think that this would definitely offer a very hard impact on me as a person, because I love both Violet and Lewis. So seeing them dying would definitely impact me as a person, but I wonder if they're going for an ending where you have both Violet and Lewis dying. That would be, kinda hard, because you have these 2 characters that are very, very important and have a chance to go ahead and offer a big impact. So I guess for right now, the one you did not save, I'm going to mark them once again as dead. So what do you guys think about them dying if you did not save them? Safsuf.
Wow, okay. Lewis and Violet, obviously, big roles, big characters. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that happening. The fandom has been, speculating the Lewis versus Violet thing. They've even teased it before at the end of episode 2, I'm pretty sure, like you said, with the whole abduction thing. Who you gonna let get kidnapped and who you gonna let stay with you? It's very obvious you got the whole binary opposition between them two. And if one of them's gonna die, it's obviously gonna be an option in episode 4. Whether there's gonna be an option between Lewis and Violet, I don't know, because that is kind of predictable. It would be kind of interesting if it's kind of like an indirect choice. You pick something and then that's gonna send Lewis on this pathway, or it's gonna send Violet on this pathway. Like you said, they're both very great characters. I love both characters. They've both been shaped well. Their character model is great.
You don't like Violet?
I like Violet's character to an extent anyway.
Since when?
But I can appreciate them from a narrative point of view anyway. But yeah, from a narrative point of view, they're both great characters. Don't really like Violet in terms of her actual personality, but yeah. Anyway, what's it called? I can definitely see them dying, but I don't think both of them will die in episode 4, just because apart from AJ, Clementine needs like a big recurring character to talk to throughout the episode. And
Yeah.
when you think about it, you got Lily is possibly dead, and the other characters like Willie and those guys, they're not really going to be able to hold a conversation for long enough for the player to be interested in the episode. So the way I see it is, both of them won't die, but one will die, just for verbal communication purposes.
All right, I see that. And also, Violet fans, listen to him, okay? He said that he didn't like Violet after she went off on Clementine, okay? I know this guy's like. Okay, but anyways, what are your opinions, Percy?
I really do see one of them being determinate depending on like who he saved, because something I really noticed was that it involved trust, and like that's kind of like why Violet's mad at you. And I know Lewis wasn't really mad at you, but maybe Lewis will have like a hard time like trusting you, maybe in a certain situation in episode 4. So I feel like that could be something that could happen, just because we have relationship status at like at the end of the episode, and it'll be interesting to see that happen.
Yeah, okay, I definitely see all of that, because there are a bunch of choices that really do involve, Lewis and Violet. Therefore, having all these different ones that, could affect each and one would definitely make for a very complex relationship between those two characters, which is definitely really, really good to see. So hopefully that goes down well, whichever path those two characters go down. But for the last big two, okay, we're going to go to Clementine and AJ. I'm going to mark them both as determinant, which is, I spoke about this a lot of times before. I think that, both of them will maybe end up being determinant for the most part. There are various different ones that would be really good. This is the final season. This is the last episode. Anything is on the table for me, okay? So, I talked about Clementine dying and AJ being alive, and wait, no, that's the same one. But okay, Clementine dying and AJ being alive, Clementine being alive and AJ dying, them both dying and them both being alive. I'm kind of like, them both being alive is not really a possibility, because that's not shocking, that's not surprising. So that one's gone from me, okay? But I do think that the ones that had the biggest impact is them both dying, and pretty much, I think Clem dying and AJ being alive, or maybe even Clem being alive and AJ dying. That one right there is one that I really want to see, because it's very, very different. What if Clementine failed in protecting AJ? Lee didn't fail whenever he saved Clementine, so therefore it'd be a very, very different outcome of her, failing to go ahead and protect AJ. He ends up dying, and that would be, very sad. But in a way, Clementine's still alive, and the community cares about only Clementine, so in that aspect it could be good. But either way, I think an option for them both dying would definitely be possible as well, because of the whole, not really a foreshadow, but them talking about, oh, if I get bit, can you bite me please? So things like that. I think that these two are very, very hard to pin down, but I think that Clementine's death is a for sure possible thing, whether it be determinate or not. But on AJ's aspect, I think that, it's more down to him probably end up surviving, but I would definitely love for him to have a possibility of dying as well. So what do you guys think about that, Percy?
Well, it's kind of hard to tell, because I do see them as determinate, because I know when the final season was announced, people thought that, oh, Clem's just gonna die at the end, but no, that's obviously not the case. Definitely, I really do want to see more, I want to see season 2 endings. That's basically what I want. I want there to be a lot of different outcomes, not going different paths, but just seeing status of people alive, definitely AJ and Clem. It would be interesting if in the Lily route, maybe there could be AJ is alive but Clem's dead, and then Clem is alive. Wait, no, AJ's alive. Wait, I forgot. Wait, AJ's alive, Clem's dead. Clem's alive, AJ's dead, and then the same one for that in the Lily's dead route. So I feel like there could be like maybe 4 endings, like kind of like 4 different versions of how their journey ends.
Yeah, definitely. That definitely would be what I want as well. What about you? What do you think about that, Safsuf?
I mean, this is the very depressing part of the video. But yeah, I do see AJ dying being probably one of like the most shocking bits of the episode, because all it is, like the whole season is been focused around, if Clementine dies, what does AJ do? But if AJ dies, what does Clementine do? You know, this is a thought we haven't had yet. So if Clementine does die and AJ survives, you know, that's obviously going to be very heartbreaking as well. But if AJ dies and Clementine possibly dies, that is probably one of the most emotional endings, you know, the writers could go for. And, you know, if you are looking from a business point of view, an emotional ending is probably the most, you know, impactful ending that you could possibly get in a video game, which will of course boost sales and get more people to play the game, and of course, you know, have higher sales and higher ratings. So, you know, from a shock value and a business point of view and a financial point of view, it all works well if AJ possibly dies and Clementine possibly dies as well. You know, if we're going for the biggest shock value, it's you know, a mixture of AJ dying and Clementine also dying. But you know, it'll be very depressing regardless of the outcome, whether Clementine dies and AJ survives, AJ dies and Clementine survives, or vice versa. Either way, it's going to be very depressing, and you know, I can see all types of possibilities occurring.
Yeah, all of that would definitely make the episode really, really great in my opinion. Just having so many endings that, you know, leaves Clementine's story open, but knowing that it won't be finished because, you know, that's the ending that you got. There's no canon ending. This is just the ending that you got. Possibilities are just wide open. I think as long as like Clementine and AJ aren't both alive, you know, I would love that, but that's not emotional, okay? I want to cry at the end, okay? I want somebody to die at the end. Not saying they can't live happily ever after, but this is The Walking Dead, and that doesn't happen very often. So that has been this collab, talking about some death predictions that I had. Hopefully they were pretty good as well. Hopefully you guys do comment down below your death predictions and tell me how wrong I am, because that's definitely fun. But other than that, I've enjoyed having you two people over on the channel. Definitely a productive and awesome conversation. Okay?
I mean, I was forced into this collab, but okay.
Hey, look, okay. I
Please
see
leave
it.
it.
I see it as being a optional, great line of work for you two. Right, Percy?
Yes.
See, Percy agrees.
He was forced to say that, but okay.
But other than that, okay, so any last statements you want to say, Percy?
Subscribe to my channel.
Bro, you can't do that. Okay, wow. What about you, Saf? So you got anything more awesome to say than Percy does?
I mean, make sure to show love and support towards the lovely InfernoKun, right?
Oh yeah.
But yeah, we also made a video on my channel to talk about my death predictions. So it's my point of view, and I have InfernoKun and Gamer Percy agreeing and disagreeing with my choices. But yeah, make sure to check my channel. But before that, of course, check the lovely InfernoKun for his awesome content.
Exactly. Their channels will be in the description box below, and the videos that we are going to be doing will be in a card and maybe at the end screen if I'm feeling very generous. But that's not very likely. I guess I could be. But anyways, that is pretty much it. Look out for more videos as we get very, very closer to the trailer for episode 4 and the release of episode 4. And we will see how it goes when it all goes down. And also, very swift announcement, okay? A possible interview with a wonderful lady coming up very soon. Not really soon, but in April. So look out for that. Thank you guys for watching once again. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more awesome Walking Dead content like this on the channel. I'm InfernoKun. These are these people. And we'll catch you guys next time on The Walking Dead.